Welcome to the Farming Without the Bank podcast, the show with a no BS approach to money, hosted by a farm strategy expert and authorized IBC practitioner. Join us as we get real and expose the flaws of traditional financial institutions in order to help farmers take control of their finances, create peace of mind, grow their wealth, and leave a legacy. Now, here's your host, Mary Jo Irmen.
Hello. Welcome back to the podcast. Thank you very much for being here. Before we get started today, I am just going to send you a friendly reminder that Thursday evenings on Facebook at 8:30 p.m. Central Time, I do a Facebook Live and I talk about all of the meetings I had that week. And that gives you guys a lot of good ideas. Where to start, where to find the money, all that good stuff. Those are also posted on my YouTube channel under Mary Jo Irmen. So if you want to watch them later, you can watch them there. But don't forget about that. It's great information. You guys have an opportunity to ask me questions while I'm live, all that good stuff. The other thing, as a friendly reminder, is, much as I hate to say this, Christmas is coming. And you can get your book, get your books ordered for your loved ones. There are Farming Without the Bank. And then if you have a non-farm family member that you want to share it with, I also wrote Wealth Without the Bank or Wall Street. So please go ahead, grab those before, mailing gets crazy and then you don't have them. So something to think about. Okay. Alrighty, are you guys ready? Today, I'm not really going to talk about infinite banking. I'm not going to talk about life insurance. I have had a lot of clients in the last couple months that are doing direct-to-consumer beef sales, fruit and vegetable sales. Ultimately, it doesn't matter. But they are going direct-to-consumer. And I did a podcast a while back about starting out and different types of businesses or different types of things that you could do. And I had great reviews. It is by far one of the most listened to podcasts that I have. And so I just see that because COVID has really switched and we've gone from buying stuff in a grocery store to really finding our local grower. And the amount of direct-to-consumer people I talk to, the amount of beef, and it's not just beef, I should say the amount of protein products that are going direct-to-consumer, the amount of vegetables that are going direct-to-consumer. You guys, as direct-to-consumer sellers, have a great opportunity. And so today, I just want to share a little bit of business advice with you that I share with every single person that I talk to that is using this same system, that is going direct to consumer. And that is, do not forget your consumer and how to market to them, how to make life easy to keep them. And while that's part of it, we also have to understand that it's most likely two of you doing this. And in every case I've had, it's a husband and a wife. And there's a couple things that I'm seeing there that are not jiving, which is going to put the whole operation at risk. And so I want to make sure that you guys have just a little bit of business advice from me. I am no expert by any stretch of the imagination. I am constantly learning, constantly having to adapt to changes, constantly asking why this, why that. But I do have some advice up to this point in my life. Things that I've experienced, things that I've wasted money on, all that good stuff. And so my first bit of advice is, if you are doing direct to consumer in any way, shape, or form, that consumer is reaching out to you now because of COVID. But when COVID goes away, are you going to be in a position to easily keep them as a customer? Are you delivering to their door? Are you doing a monthly subscription? Okay. Are you posting your stuff on social media? Are you doing farmers markets? What are you doing to make it easy for the customer to get your stuff? Because guess what's easy? The grocery store. It's very easy to go to the grocery store when I'm out of something. And then eventually, guess what? I fall back into those bad habits of buying my produce there, buying my meat there, buying my honey there, because it's just quick and easy. I didn't have to make an appointment to see you. Are you monthly delivering that stuff? I have talked to other direct-to-consumers that have been doing it 20, 25 years, 10 years, 7 years before it was cool, right? Because it only became cool in the last year. And so I've been talking to people that have been doing this forever. They have a monthly subscription type thing. Every month I come to your house, I drop it off in a cooler and away I go. I do not arrange times to pick it up. If you are arranging times for people to meet with you, how inefficient. Your time is worth something. Remember that. I don't care if you're doing direct to consumer or if you're out just cutting wheat and cotton, right? It is, your time is worth something. And as a farmer, we don't think about our time. If you actually break down what you do and you're not selling your product and you're doing direct to consumer, if you're just selling grain and hauling it in, you should probably figure that into your actual cost of production, right? Your time. What are you making? If you say you're making minimum wage per hour, well, whose fault is that? Did you figure it in? Did you market your grain? Did you market your beef? Did you do what you needed to do? We have a little more control of that when we are direct to consumer. Because why are you driving all over to deliver stuff and arranging the time? If you want something from me, put a cooler out, I'll stick it in the cooler, and you know this is the day I'm coming. I'll have a text message system, so you get a text message that it was just dropped off. You'll get a text message that I'm coming tomorrow. Don't forget to put your cooler out. If you don't put your cooler out, you can come to me to get it, because I'm not going to run all over to try to find you and deliver your product, right? It's time management. It's putting a system in place, which then brings us to a lot of what I'm seeing with direct-to-consumer operations is one or both of them do not want to learn social media. They don't want to learn what that text messaging system is. They don't want to create a website. They don't want to hassle with it, right? So if I'm raising beef, for example, and I just want to be outside feeding the cows and mending fences and doing what needs to be done outside, who's going to create the website? I'm not going to take the time to create the website, put the social media posts out there so people know I exist. You can't have one without the other. You cannot sell beef if nobody knows who you are. And right now, the competition is great in that industry. And so why would I choose you over the next guy? What are you showing me on social media? Are you showing me where it's grown? Because that's what consumers want. We need to listen to the consumer. You don't get to tell the consumer what they want, right? I don't get to tell my clients what they're going to do. When I meet with you, you get to make that decision because it's your decision to make. And so if your clients need to find you, where are they going to find you? What are you doing? You don't have the option to say, oh, I'm not going to do that. You do have the option to say, Mary Jo, I don't like it. I don't like to do websites. I don't like to text people. I don't like to do social media. Because let's face it, if you're outside working with cows or you're outside in the garden and you've got a huge greenhouse operation, you do not want to be the marketing department in most cases. And so you need to find somebody who wants to do that. That might be your spouse. In a lot of these cases, when I talk to people, it actually is the spouse. But guess what? The spouse is pulling their hair out because the one that's outside working doesn't want to have to listen to social media stuff, doesn't want to have to learn, doesn't want to have to, I gotta text this person when I deliver. Who's delivering? You guys, it's a business. You have to listen to each other. You have to help each other out or you're not going to be successful. Or you need to hire somebody to help you do that portion of it if you don't want to do the inside work, which is computer work. Yes, somebody's going to have to sit in front of the computer and keep a spreadsheet of costs, arrange drop-offs, arrange pickups if that's what you're doing. Put social media posts out there. Figure out some marketing. Do we need banners? Do we need to do a farmer's market? Do we have to have a table? Do we have to have branding, meaning a logo and everything that looks decent? Do we need to have packaging for our beef? There are a lot of things to figure out. And if you're going to run an operation that looks half, then that's what people are going to expect. If you want to look like a professional, you have to put all of it together to be the professional. And then please remember, COVID's going to go away and people are going to go back to the store. What are you going to do that nobody else is doing to make sure that those people keep coming to you? It's a lot about marketing. It's about listening to the customer and seeing what they want, and then you add that to whatever you're doing. And it blows me away when I talk to somebody that's raising cattle and sheep and goats, and they're raising the proteins, but they're not reaching out to the neighbor who's got the vegetables. Well, why can't we package them together? Why can't we deliver them together? Why can't we work together? If one wants to raise the vegetables and the other one wants to raise the beef, great, we can just deliver them on the same day, right? We can give that as an option. But this is what I'm seeing, is that there's this disconnect between the person that wants to be outside and raise it. They don't want to have to know anything about the marketing, but they don't understand it. Well, if you don't want to know anything about it, you're not going to understand it, which everybody needs to know every part of it so that you can make it successful. You have to put your marketing hat on. And it's not for everybody. This direct to consumer is not for everybody. The strong are going to survive and the weak are going to fall off. That's how it's going to work, folks. If you have a great foundation, you are going to survive all of this when it's over. You're going to have a 25-year, 30-year success rate as a company of direct to consumer selling. But you have to build that now. You have to pay attention to it now. I know you don't have enough beef to deliver. Great. When you don't have any deliveries to make, be working on the actual business part of it. No different than a farmer that's got 10,000 acres they're farming. You need to work on the business part of it. You need to have meetings with each other so you can understand. You also need to look at what everybody's strength is. And I am a huge advocate of what's called the Colby Score. It's Kolbe, the Colby Score. And that score, you can take this really short, it's a questionnaire, and it is not a personality test. Absolutely not a personality test. Both of my assistants have almost identical Colby scores, and they are not even close to being the same people. They are 100% different personalities. And so it is a score based on how you get things done. And there's 4 numbers in this score. And the first number represents if you need to do a lot of research. If you're kind of a fact finder, I'm going to do research until I'm blue in the face. Right? I need to know everything before I start. The second number is going to represent if you need to get things done in order. Some people must do things in order or they can't move to the next thing. The third number represents how quickly you make a decision. And the fourth number represents if you're good with your hands, if you're a mechanic, if you are good at programming computers, those sort of things. And so for my personal score, I am really high. I have the highest number on making fast decisions. Yep, let's do it. That sounds great. Woohoo! Right? I'm ready to go. I have all these awesome ideas and let's just do it. And I do very little research because it bores me, and I do not have to do things in order. Oh my gosh, no. But I'm not good at creating the spreadsheets, the programming. I will tell, and my husband is really high on that last number. He's a mechanic. He's good at building things. And so I'm like, okay, I need this. And he's like, yeah, well, it's not that easy, Mary Jo. I'm like, what do you mean it's not that easy? That's just what I want. I can envision it. And I call him my little Debbie Downer because he's my reality check, right? I have this big vision and he's like, well, you can't just do it that way. And everything I do it wrong. If I buy furniture to put together, guess what? I buy it. I look at the pictures. I do not read the instructions. Why would anybody read instructions? He's over there reading instructions. He doesn't go as far as to count all the pieces before we start, but I will be halfway done. He's still reading instructions, and lo and behold, I did something wrong. So I got to take it apart and I got to do it again. It's how my brain works. I just want it done. I want it put together and so I can enjoy it, right? But everybody has that score. And if you understand not their personality, but how they work to get things done, it's going to make life easier in your operation. And I don't care if you're doing direct to consumer or you just have a farm that you're hauling grain to the elevator. You're hauling cows to the sale barn, hauling pigs to the sale barn. I don't care. It doesn't matter. This score is super important. If you are working with family members, how do they get things done? Do they need to know what's happening the next day? Do they need a checkoff list because that's what makes them feel good? Are they the researcher? So, a lot of family operations, you will have one that just wants to go out and plant, but one that will research what kind of drill do we need? What kind of tractor? What kind of seed? What kind of fertilizer? What kind of chemical? They will research and research and research so that you have the best option. Instead of just going and believe in somebody, they're going to research it, right? They're the engineer type mentality. We need all of those, but we need to recognize whose skills are best used where. Now, I will hire and I will use this Colby Score when I'm hiring to see where people's strengths are. Because guess what? We don't need to hire another Mary Jo to be my assistant. That will be a disaster. If you have met my assistants, you know they are super organized, right? They like to check things off the box. They like to do the research. They like to follow up on things. They save my butt. I could not do what I do if it wasn't for them, because they are the ones that keep me on track, because I'm the idea person and I want to implement all this stuff and I want to do all this stuff. But guess what? I can't do it without them. But we have that understanding. They know where my strengths are and I know where their strengths are. And it's super important to have that in an organization. Doesn't matter the size of the organization. Doesn't matter if you're direct to consumer or you're just the traditional farmer. That is so needed. So if, let's say that we are direct to consumer and I am the one that is doing the marketing, I'm the one that's doing the social media, I'm getting logos, I am doing the deliveries, I'm figuring out the text messaging stuff. And you come in and say, well, what are you doing? Because I'm out there feeding cows all day, mending fences. I'm just scheduling when we're going to have our next processing date. I'm just scheduling clients. I'm just getting customers. Yeah, because we don't need the beef if we don't have the customers, right? It is so super important. And I saw a couple quotes this morning as I was listening to podcasts and all that good stuff. And one of the quotes I saw was, ideas are worthless without the execution. and execution is pointless without the ideas. We need both. We need them both. And if you look at successful operations, it is because the people that are good at what they're good at pretty much stay in their lane. I see it in operations all the time. We have an operation, multiple people are farming together, and one has read the book. One out of 2, 3, or 4. Okay? One has read the book. The other 3 come to the meeting not knowing what I'm talking about because they don't want to read, but yet they want input on what's going on. No, that's not how it works. You don't get input if you haven't educated yourself. Otherwise, you get to sit and listen to the person who read the book and is keeping track of what's going on with the finances. So if we have a bookkeeper, and let's say the bookkeeper is mom, because that's the majority of the bookkeepers, right? So let's say that mom is the bookkeeper, and we have a son and a dad in an operation, and one or both of them is spending money even though the bookkeeper says we don't have any money to spend. How frustrating is that? What if the bookkeeper went outside and you said, you know what, we're going to plant corn this year, and they planted sunflowers instead? Would you be upset because they didn't listen to you? You darn right they would, but you're doing the exact same thing, except it is affecting your finances greatly, because then you come in and you're stressed out and you're mad because you guys aren't making any money. Well, did you go buy something you weren't supposed to buy because we didn't have any money for it? Listen to the person who you gave that job to. And if you don't trust them, then take the job yourself or find somebody else to do it. Now, I'm getting very passionate here because I see this all the time and it absolutely drives me bonkers. You don't get to go buy stuff you can't afford if you are not the person that is managing the books, and then you cannot blame anybody besides yourself if you're spending money that can't be spent. If you are not selling the amount of beef, if you are not selling the amount of produce that you want to sell, why? What is wrong with the operation? Do we need to transfer duties to somebody that is what their strong suit is? Quit putting people in the wrong positions. If we have to move people once they're there, or once they're in a position and we find out that that's not their skill, then move them. Big deal. They will do a better job in a different position. But if we don't want to learn, you can't take the easy road and get easy results, right? You just want to take the easy road, get easy results. Guess what? That's known as being average. Do you want to have a successful operation, or do you just want to be average and not do anything to make it better? Not pay attention to how can we make these things better? It's not going to be easy to figure out how to keep those clients. It's not easy running an organization. I would prefer not to have to spend my time constantly researching. That's not one of my strengths, but it is something that I do nearly daily. In the morning, I have a routine of what I need to do. I can easily make excuses, but guess what? I have plenty of downtime, as do other people. Figure out what you're going to do to be most efficient, work together, and who is best at what. And don't force a spouse to be doing social media when they don't know social media or don't care about social media. If your spouse isn't on social media, why would they start just to promote your business? If they don't have a love for it and they don't care to do it and they don't know how to market, that might not be your best option. You might be the one doing it because you're the one. I had some people I talked to the other day. He was the marketing genius, but he had to tell her what to post all the time. And she didn't understand why this is so important. Because clearly, she's maybe not, I don't know, but I'm assuming she's not the social media person. She's busy taking care of the kids and working and all this other stuff. But he's got the marketing brain. well, then he's the one that should probably be posting it. Or he has to just acknowledge that he's going to have to tell her when to do that because it's not a God-given talent for her. And that's okay. Who cares if it's not? Where do her strengths lie? If she's really good at the delivery part and making sure that that's organized, so drop off is, they're delivering a lot of beef. And so if she can schedule the drop off because she's organized at that, then great, let her do the drop off. Let her do what she's good at. But either he's going to have to relay the information and why this is important. And the why is important because she clearly doesn't really care about it or know about it or just doesn't think that way. Okay? But he does. So you either have to relay the why or you're going to have to tell her what to do or you just take it over and rearrange duties. I have several friends and clients who the wives kind of have the man brain of compartmentalizing things and saying, I'm going to go to my nothing box and I'm going to think of nothing. Now, I wish I had this nothing box because my brain never shuts off. My husband is really good about having the nothing box. He's like, what? Oh, you mean there's dishes to be done? Oh, there's, something laying on the floor for the last week and I didn't pick it up. I didn't even notice it. Like, I don't know how that works. I wish that I could understand it, but it's typically a man thing. But there are times when the woman has that brain and the man is the one that is very busy. He's thinking about ideas and all that good stuff. That's awesome. It doesn't matter. Just recognize the other person's strengths. Recognize what they're good at, what they're not good at, what we can help them with. But if you guys don't take advantage of this opportunity that you have now and figure out how to build that foundation, when COVID is gone, you are going to be in the same boat. You are going to be a luxury, not a necessity. Right now, you're a necessity. Make sure you are always a necessity. How do you do that? Monthly subscriptions, standard delivery dates, right? And some of that's coming because we just can't get things processed as fast. Can we offer something different that other people are offering? Do we have a pickup spot? Think of those things in long term so you're not losing those clients. Okay, I don't think I've missed anything. And I hope that has helped some of you. It's just a little bit, again, it's just a little bit of advice that I have had to do myself in my own business. And it's constant changes. Constantly looking at what my consumers want, need, are looking for, what are they going through, all that stuff. And so those are things that, and here's another thing. The holidays are coming up. Can you throw something in their next meat delivery or offer them something for the holidays? Do you have somebody that grows potatoes, fresh potatoes? Do you have somebody that grows fresh sweet potatoes, fresh vegetables? Something that can, if you're delivering meat, can that go along with your meat for the holiday? Or if you're delivering the vegetables, do you have somebody that has the beef that can go along? Is there some sort of little gift that you can throw in there for them? Can you offer a special, right? Be thinking about those holidays in advance. You know who really has to do that are the people that are selling goats and sheep. The ethnic groups that are buying those are buying them around their specific holidays. So those people selling that meat know they have to pay attention to the holidays. Pay attention to the holidays. Go above and beyond for your customer. All right, that's all I got. I hope that helped. I really, really do. I hope that you liked that. I think I end every podcast with, I hope that you liked that. Because I do. I always worry that you guys aren't going to get value from these things. And then I get messages that say it was awesome and you got value. And so love it. I love it when you email me to let me know that. And you can do that at maryjo@withoutthebank.com. And you can tell me whatever you want to tell me. I'm a big girl. I can even handle the negative things. All right, you guys, that's all I got for you in this podcast. If you want to hear a topic, if there's something specific, let me know. maryjo@withoutthebank. If you have not gotten the book yet, farmingwithoutthebank.com, grab the book. If you do have the book and you've not called me and you've not set up your appointment, I'm just going to leave you with this. I talked to a client the week of this recording, and she bought the book, 4 years ago. Everybody procrastinated. Nobody else wanted to meet with me or read the book. And by nobody, I mean the husband and the dad. And guess what? Dad passed away suddenly this year. Had they met with me 4 years ago, they'd have most likely had some insurance on Dad, but nothing. And now, not a family war yet, but the day Dad died, war began. And so, do they have some risk there? Well, let's hope not, but there could be, right? Depends how ugly the other family members want to be. And so, why are you procrastinating? We don't know when our time is up. The life insurance is important. It is, to me, when we are talking about buying out a farm or taking over a farm, it is probably more important than the cash value. So stop procrastinating, make that appointment, make it now so that you're on the calendar. I am not booking out 6 weeks. I'm out about 3 to 4. So that's not so bad. You can order the book. You will get an email with a link to my calendar. Make your appointment before you even get the book. Because guess what? You're going to get the book in 2 to 3 days, and then you have 4 weeks to read it. Give yourself a deadline. But you have to read it before you meet with us. Okay? All right, guys. Let me know if there's anything else you need. Otherwise, you have an absolutely fantastic rest of your day.
Thanks for listening to the Farming Without the Bank podcast. We hope today's episode has inspired you to take control of your finances in new ways. Don't forget to check out our website, farmingwithoutthebank.com, and engage with us on our Facebook page, Farming Without the Bank. Join us next week as we smash more financial myths and empower you to accomplish your financial goals.